First of all, listening to all this, it certainly sounds like this pricing mess in the first place was caused by government, and then the reaction to government sticking their hands in there. So that's something that's always is concern to me, is that price fixing never ever solves any problems. The question I have is about the investment for research and development. So $90 billion was thrown around. Out of $90 billion that is invested, how many of those? How much of that goes towards drugs that actually do come to the market? And what is that risk factor of pharmaceutical companies?
Sure, that's a great question. So it is, as I said before in my testimony, a risky and complicated process. I can't break down the $90 billion for you because I think it's also incredibly intertwined. I would say that, so for example, I think this number is since 2003, we've seen 143 Alzheimer's drugs go through the pipeline and fall out. There are 4 still in the pipeline. Yeah. So to the extent that that gives you a sense of how complicated and difficult that is, it's incredibly risky. So there are failures, and that is a part of every business, not just ours. That's a part of manufacturing. It's a part of everything. But because of the science and the complicated science, especially these new biologics we're developing, it's become even riskier and complicated. So I would say that the failures are part of that $90 billion, and the failures are how we get to the successes. That's how we're eventually going to get to a cure for Alzheimer's
So
disease.
what encourages your innovation? What encourages your innovation?
The getting the cures. That's what encourages our innovation. The seeing treatments that make a difference in people's lives. That's what makes our scientists wake up every day and go to work and keep trying. If you're a bench scientist, you know that out of every 100 experiments that you do, 1 is going to succeed, but that 1 could be a cure for cancer, and that's why you keep going.
So ultimately, the end pricing that you get to pay back. So really, are prescription drugs really all that expensive, given that that money has to go back into innovation?
I'm not sure I followed that question. Eventually, the money that we do make off of the drugs that do succeed does feed back into innovation, and that sort of starts a cycle over again. So if that answers your question, I hope.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.